Innovative switch technology. SIN-Eng. Do you know redundant switch? Redundant switch is an electric device that rapidly switches between AC power sources. System using high-capacity static transfer switch at the top of load. If this redundant switch operation fails in configuration, it affects all loads. It is very dangerous. But configuring a decentralized redundant switch system, one redundant switch failure does not affect other loads. This is why if you have to use redundant switch, you should use a decentralized redundant switch. There are currently a variety of distributed redundant switches available. What are the problems with these products? Let me tell you this story from now on. The switch configuration is represented here. The switch is responsible for supplying and disconnecting power to the load. The role of switch is to connect or disconnect properly. Of these two actions, it is very important to turn it off well. The switches we use can be divided into two types. One way is to manually switch it on and off. Another way is to use a controller to turn it on and off automatically. There are two types of switches in different categories. One is a commonly used mechanical switch and the other is an electronic switch using semiconductors. The method that automatically uses mechanical switches is usually called ASTS. ASTS switches have many problems, so they are used in specific places. ASTS has the following problems. Turning on and off is very slow. It is not suitable for use in power-sensitive places, such as semiconductor lines or data centers. The on and off times are inconsistent and can become less predictable over time. Due to the limitations of mechanical switches, the number of switching times is limited. For these various reasons, it is being replaced by high-speed switching using semiconductors in many places. In areas where rapid transfer is required, STS using semiconductors are used. The picture shows a typical STS. An STS must measure input or output voltage and current. Based on the measured information, the switch is turned on and off. General automatic transfer switches have several problems. The first issue occurs when turning off the switch. In order to turn off the currently used switch, the following conditions must be met. First, there must be an off section where the output voltage passes the 0 point. Second, the flowing current must be 0. If these conditions are not met, the switch will not turn off even if a switch-off signal is given. The second issue is when the switch goes off. Existing STS turns off at different times depending on the output load. Therefore, the turn-off point can be predicted after calculating the point in time when both the output voltage and current turn off. If the point at which the current becomes 0 is wrong or a problem occurs with the current sensor, the calculation will be incorrect. The third issue arises from DC voltage. Existing AC switches turn off only when both voltage and current are turned off. It cannot be used when applying DC voltage. Three issues arise where AC switches are used. There are two main places where AC switches are used. First, an AC switch is used for redundant power to stabilize the power. The second is a switch that connects the power source connected to the electric vehicle charger or grid-connected solar power generation. The switch used for redundant power supplies receives two different power supplies and normally supplies power to the load through power source 1, but switches to power source 2 when a problem occurs with power source 1. The job of these switches is to make transitions very quickly. Unfortunately, existing switches cannot turn off the switch depending on voltage and current conditions. Detecting voltage and current is subject to errors due to offset or time delay. Some products have long transition times set in advance, and the turn-off time is not constant depending on the load. This also applies to asynchronous power. When power 1 and power 2 are asynchronous, the switch-off time is longer, and it doesn't work on DC power. In other words, existing AC switches have a very high possibility of experiencing a power outage. AC switches are also used in power-related devices. This occurs when a large current flows into a device receiving AC power, causing a problem. or when an abnormality occurs due to overcurrent, such as in a battery. In this case, you need to block it quickly. However, as explained, it cannot be turned off if the voltage or current is not zero. In other words, it cannot be turned off right away, and device problems are left unattended for several ms or more. Not possible if DC power is involved in redundancy. These systems are very unreliable and cannot guarantee the stability of the entire system. Sinang's STS technology was created to solve these problems. The goal we are pursuing is that the switch must be able to turn off at any time, regardless of voltage or current. In redundant power supply, we know that existing to turn off at any time switches are passive switches that depend on the load. But the Terapicco switch with new technology is an active on and off switch. Terapicco is the brand name of Sin-Ang. First, it is active at the turn-off point. The Terapicco switch turns off exactly at the point you want it to turn off, even if the voltage and current are not zero. Power can be cut off to the load from the moment the switch is turned off. Unlike existing switches, it can be turned off at any time regardless of load conditions, because it can cut off power to the load from the time the switch is turned off. The Terapicco switch can be turned off at any time, even from DC power. Based on Sinang's innovative technology, Terapicco's active switch can 100% prevent power loss and system damage. The problem can be solved by applying the active switching method to switches used for grid connection. A method that could not be blocked at the time of an accident with existing methods can be solved with an innovative activid. There are several other things to consider regarding the health of the system. It is heat dissipation. For efficient heat dissipation, a cooling method is used using a fan. However, fans have a difficult to predict lifespan, and the lifespan of the parts used. Electrolytic capacitors are commonly used in electronic components. Electrolytic capacitors are the cause of the lowest lifespan of the system. Terapicco STS complies with temperature standards without using a cooling fan. And we do not use components with low lifespan such as electrolytic capacitors. For this reason, Terapicco STS guarantees long operating life. Terapicco STS is developing innovative technologies through continuous research and efforts. As a result, we have applied for various patents. And certification was obtained through verification by various organizations to confirm the reliability of the product. An international certification body secured international CE certification through TUV, and KC certification was secured in Korea. Above all, we have secured IEC 62310 certification suitable for STS. To confirm the performance of the system, performance certification was obtained from KERI in Korea. As you can see, the switch operates in a very short time under any circumstances, regardless of whether it is synchronous or asynchronous. To test the longevity of the switch, we also conducted a repeat test of 200,000 times. The 200,000 repetition test was performed only by Terapicco's STS. Through innovative technology, we are producing a total of 4 STS. In addition to this, various application models are being developed. In addition to these technologies, Terapicco STS includes various technologies. Consumers know the safety of Terapicco STS. Terapicco STS has been recognized by the government of the Republic of Korea. Terapicco STS has been installed in LG display since 7 years ago and has been operating without any problems while protecting the system. When installing redundant power sources for important loads, install Terapicco STS without hesitation. Terapicco STS will be your perfect power vaccine. Thanks for watching.